is that the liberal arts is irrelevant for the 21st century. I challenge that and counter that it is the best avenue to prepare individuals for lives within and outside of their careers in free and just society.
Software programming, finance, that's the easiest thing. You just take the data and have it spit out whatever you need, right? I personally think there's going to be a greater demand in 10 years for liberal arts majors.
In order to get your foot in the door is important. But if you look at sort of the growth over time, oftentimes the leadership of these companies are people that have the ability to take a step back, have the ability to ask the right questions, have the ability to empathize with the customer. And these are the very things that you learn through a humanities or liberal arts type program.
What's good? How are you? It's been a minute, but it's winter break now, so I guess I'm back to making videos. Over the past couple of years, liberal arts degrees are getting a lot more recognition and more people are graduating from these schools. But in my opinion, there's not nearly enough information online about what a liberal arts degree even is or what it's like actually attending a liberal arts school. So I want to be the one to offer that information to you. In today's video, I want to share my perspective as a current senior at Union College, majoring in biology and psychology, about whether attending a liberal arts college is actually worth it. Before I get into anything else, I'd like to first define what liberal arts even is. I know for a fact most people have no idea what the difference is between a traditional university and a liberal arts college, because when I was applying to colleges, I had no idea what the difference was either. And actually, even after studying at a liberal arts college for almost 4 years now, I still don't know exactly what liberal arts means, but I'll try my best to explain. So in the United States, we have two major types of universities / colleges. Also, we use the words university and college interchangeably, so try not to get confused by this. They mean the same thing. So all undergraduate programs across the US fall under one of two categories. They're either national universities or national liberal arts colleges. The difference is that in a traditional university, it tends to have both an undergraduate program where students can earn a bachelor's of science or a bachelor's of art, and it also has a graduate program in the form of PhD students, med students, law students, etc. On the other hand, a liberal arts college tends to only have an undergraduate program and is usually smaller for this reason. Also, these two types of schools have differing educational philosophies, so according to a quick Google search, a liberal arts degree is defined as offering foundational knowledge across many different subject areas from art, philosophy, and language to history, science, and math. Or basically, in simpler terms, emphasizes approaching classroom material from multiple academic disciplines. This form of education focuses on developing students' critical thinking skills, but also their writing skills. Whereas in a traditional university, they're much less focused on making students apply multiple academic disciplines to one topic, and instead want to create students who are more specialized in a field and are more focused on just one thing. Another major difference between these two types of schools that no one talks about is that when you attend a liberal arts college, if someone ever asks you,
"Oh, where do you go to school?"
you're always going to preface your answer with, "Oh, it's a small school, you probably never heard of it." And if they've heard of it, then you're going to proceed to be amazed. And that's just because the nature of liberal arts colleges is that they tend to be pretty small and in relatively remote areas, whereas traditional universities like UCLA, USC, University of Florida, University of South Florida, they just tend to be much larger and much more well known. Anyways, moving on, I want to now address the pros and cons of attending a liberal arts college. But before I do, I just want to mention that you should take this information with a grain of salt, because these pros and cons are based on my perspective as a current pre-med student who kind of came into college already knowing what he wanted to do. And if you don't already know what you want to do coming into college, then your opinions will probably differ drastically. So the first major pro of attending a liberal arts college is definitely the small community feel and smaller classroom sizes. And what I mean by this is because the class sizes tend to be smaller at liberal arts colleges with just around 2,000 to 4,000 students, there's a much lower student to faculty ratio, usually around 10 to 1. At some schools, it's 6 to 1, depending on how big the class sizes are. And so in this way, professors are just able to offer much more specialized focus. Whereas at a big university like Stanford University, the lecture halls tend to have like hundreds of people in them. And sometimes teachers don't even get to know each student's name inside the lecture hall. The biggest classes I've been in my college are like around like 40 people in my intro classes. And even within these classes, I feel like it's already way too many students, and sometimes I don't get enough specialized attention from the teacher. So I could not imagine attending a university where the teacher does not even know my name, basically. Another benefit of attending a liberal arts college, which I actually feel like a lot of people misinterpret, is that there's actually more undergraduate focus on research, because professors are only able to use undergrad students for their research. So there's a lot more undergraduate research opportunities at liberal arts colleges. Like, yeah, our research may not be as sophisticated as a big university that receives a lot more funding and can access a lot more hefty grants. But when it comes to the research opportunities for undergrads, I feel like if you want to get involved in research in my school, it's very easy for you to do so. I personally have not had any interest in getting involved in research, but a lot of my friends since freshman year have been involved in research and were able to secure research positions pretty easily. And this concept of a freshman in college easily having access to research opportunities is unheard of at big universities, because at big universities, it's not only undergrad students who are fighting for these research opportunities, but it's also the graduate students who tend to be favored for these positions. Another benefit of attending a liberal arts college is that you usually don't have to select a major when you come into the school, and actually for most of these schools, you're required to select a major in your last semester of your sophomore year. So before this time, you're able to explore a broad range of classes and you're not limited by your major on what classes you can take. So for example, if you want to be a biology major, but you're interested in art history classes, then you can feel free to do that and you're not limited by your major. Whereas in a traditional university system, you have to select a major immediately upon acceptance and you're actually limited by the classes that you can take based on your major. So for a young 17/18-year-old who just graduated high school and does not really know what they want to do, this traditional university system creates a lot more pressure for students, and liberal arts colleges, especially if you don't know what you want to do exactly, is definitely a better choice. And one of the final benefits of a liberal arts education is definitely its focus on interdisciplinary learning. If you take a quick look at the news, many CEOs like Mark Cuban are predicting that liberal arts degrees will be preferable into the future job market, and that's because of the interdisciplinary nature of the degree. So that's all the pros of liberal arts schools, and now I'd like to mention a few of the drawbacks. One of the first cons of attending a liberal arts college compared to a traditional university is that there are less specialized majors and classes. And what I mean by this is that in liberal arts colleges, there tends to be a less broad range of majors. So for example, instead of having a finance major at a liberal arts college, for students who want to go into finance in their future, they just have to major in economics, because at liberal arts colleges, we tend to only have the basic majors like economics, biology, biochemistry, chemistry, just things that are basic sciences or the basic fields of study for a broad range of topics. But on the other hand, in a traditional university, there's a very broad curriculum with a lot of different little sects that you could go into and major in. Like for example, there's nutrition in the pre-med track inside a large university, but at a liberal arts college, we just don't have a major like that. Another major drawback of attending a liberal arts college compared to a traditional university is that liberal arts colleges tend to participate in NCAA Division III sports. So the sports culture at liberal arts colleges tends to be pretty limited, and you don't see those crazy football games like you do at like Penn State or University of Florida, for example. For me personally, it kind of sucks because all my cousins and all my family went to University of Florida, and I attend Union College, which is a super small school upstate New York, and our football games are not nearly anywhere the size of University of Florida. So that part definitely sucks a little, but if that's something that you can overlook and you don't really mind because you don't care about sports at all, then I guess that's fine. And another con of liberal arts schools is that they tend to be significantly less diverse than traditional universities. I didn't really realize this was a trend until I actually searched this information up for this video, but liberal arts schools tend to be significantly less diverse on average in America compared to traditional universities. And this is because liberal arts schools tend to be private schools and once again are located in relatively remote areas. And so these schools probably just tend to attract less BIPOC individuals. And for my final downside of attending a liberal arts college, which was actually one of my pros as well, and that's the interdisciplinary nature of the degree. Now, the reason I'm listing this as one of the cons, in my opinion, is because I came into college, as I said, already knowing what I wanted to do. Like, I already knew I wanted to go to medical school. So sometimes when I'm engaged in interdisciplinary material, it seems kind of useless to me, and I feel like I should just specialize on the things that I actually need to know for med school rather than engaging in material that just doesn't matter at all. So in that way, I feel like a traditional university might have been better for me, but nonetheless, there is still a lot of learning that I've done through the interdisciplinary degree, and there's a lot of extra knowledge that I do have over other med students or other pre-med students who went the traditional route, but I just don't know if that extra information I have is extremely essential for me to become a doctor. But once again, that is from my perspective as someone who already came into college knowing what he wanted to do. And I think if you don't know what you want to do coming into college, a liberal arts degree is so much of a better option for you. So to wrap up everything that I've been talking about, is liberal arts worth it? It really depends on your goals. If you're seeking a specialized career track, a traditional university path might offer a more direct route. But if you value a well-rounded education, critical thinking skills, and the ability to adapt to diverse situations, then yes, a liberal arts degree can be extremely valuable. Ultimately, it's about what you prioritize in your education and career journey. So the answer, well, it depends on what you're looking for. Anyways, that's all I got on liberal arts colleges. If you enjoy college-related content like this, please don't forget to subscribe. I post stuff like this all the time. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, peace!